Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And this has been your Associated Bank Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Circle of Friends Adult Day program right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Filing a lawsuit over funding cuts to AmeriCorps. Wisconsin is one of 24 states suing the Trump administration over an end to grant funding for volunteer service programs. AmeriCorps programs in Wisconsin include tutoring, conservation, library services, and support for homeless youth. The cuts could end services at 300 sites across the state. A Racine man will spend nearly 4 years in federal prison for a role in the nationwide swatting spree. 23-year-old Kaya Christian Nelson hacked Ring doorbell cameras and made fake emergency calls to police, then watched and taunted officers through devices in November of 2020. Nelson has been in a federal prison in Kentucky since August of last year. Nelson also pleaded guilty to conspiracy and computer crimes in January. A former Milwaukee police captain is appealing her firing. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports Roberta Klein was terminated in January after internal investigations found she violated department policies by blocking a surgeon's transfer over concerns the officer might take family leave. Klein has denied any wrongdoing, and her appeal will be heard by the city's Fire and Police Commission on May 8th and 9th. The department says Klein's dismissal is the only captain termination on record. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It is Pop-Off Friday. Anything you're mad about? Anything you want to pop off about? 833-212-1017 is the number. Do we have the name of the winner on Tori Lowe show? Hit up Zach right quick and get the name so we can congratulate, or if you can just hit me in the talking text. Did you win? No, because somebody will be hitting me in the talking text and they didn't win. Yeah, you can say my name. And then that's that. So congratulations. We gave away $5,000 on the Gruber 5K giveaway. So I want to say congratulations to whoever won. I can say with all honesty. And with all humility, I'm jealous. Because I couldn't get it. But I'm not eligible to win. Anyway, so $5,000. Yeah. Yes, I'm depressed because it's Friday and I didn't win. Like literally, yes. Like I'm gonna just sit here like this. Contemplate after tax, what can I do with $5,000? After the state and FICA and everybody named Mama come in and go, hey, drop some loot. Be like, give us some money. And so the weird thing about it, everybody that's cheering that you won will act like you're going to get actually $5,000. But we have to remember that, the tax man never giveth, and the tax man always taketh away. I'll say all that because I'm still jealous that the person won. So congratulations. I am very happy for you. You have to be a very, I'm not necessarily I believe in luck guy, but, you're blessed. You won like $5,000. That means you have about $5,000 more than I have. And that's saying something. But it's great. And those are the kind of partners we have, like Gruber Law Offices. Those are the kind of partners. You get in an accident, something happens, you call Gruber. They hook you up. You tell them, hey, I heard you on 107 The Truth, and they said call, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, just like Educators Credit Union and Pella and all of our great supporters here, American Family Insurance. It's just sometimes you run into people and they kind of, pretend like they're doing things when in fact every now and then you run into a group of people like our founding partners and Pella and Educators and, so many more that support 101.7 The Truth like you. So we just want to say thank you. But that being said, it's Pop-Off Friday, and I have an issue. So, y'all know I'm a news junkie, so I read 10,000 gazillion million. I know it's not a number. But, I go around and I read and I look and I read stuff that's liberal, read stuff that's conservative, read stuff that's TV news, podcasts, blogs, you name it, I'm going to read it because you never know when you come across that one thing. And I came across a story on WISN.com today. And I don't know if it's the writer because I don't know how WISN.com does their writing. I don't know if the editor puts a headline on it and the author, Diana Gutierrez, just wrote it, or she voiced it, in the stand-up or did it during a newscast or whatever. But there's an article that says suspect in suit case remains murder to be sentenced. Family seeks justice and closure as their pregnant daughter was found dead. And while I can't sympathize, I can empathize. 25-year-old Rosalie Cindy Chavarera Rodriguez was missing since July 20th. And as it goes through, her parents live in Peru. They found her remains, and they found the man who they believed committed the crime. And he was found guilty. And he was charged with 3 counts: first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree intentional homicide of an unborn child because she was pregnant, and hiding a corpse, hid it in luggage. And he pleaded no contest to an amended homicide count. And they wrote a story.
Chavarria Rodriguez left behind a 9-year-old daughter who's in the custody of her mother in Peru. And when they wrote the story, they wrote suspect in suitcase remains murder to be sentenced. And I'm trying to think to myself, when are you a suspect? You're a suspect before you're charged, when the police are investigating. And I know some people may say, well, that's a small downplay. But think about what you're saying. You're not a suspect anymore. You don't sentence suspects. You sentence those who have been convicted. Felony conviction, suspect. You tell me. Am I missing something? So when you write an article and you make the heading, the suspect is being sentenced, you would not sentence a suspect. You might charge a suspect. Then you become the accused. Then you become the convicted felon. How about man convicted in suitcase remains murder to be sentenced? But we downplay too much in the media today. We downplay, well, we'll make it to look bad. Well, we'll just say suspects. Like literally this person is not a suspect. If you ask anybody that's been in law enforcement 5 minutes, or a lawyer for 5 minutes, or in the media for 5 minutes, they might tell you, do we sentence suspects? And they'd be like, no. Who do you sentence? People who've been convicted. So this person who's a convicted felon for first-degree intentional homicide, 40 years to life, and we call them a suspect. That makes no sense to me. What is going on in the media? The media is almost getting as bad as public schools. I mean, you can't simply trust the media to write a headline. This person is not a suspect. Or whoever wrote the headline is purposefully calling the killer not a killer. But there's a simple word. You don't have to worry about suspect. You don't have to worry about assailant, actor. You don't have to worry about defendant. You don't even have to call him a convicted felon. You can just say one word: murderer.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all.
I made one call, and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call, and that's all.
They will do what they say they're going to do. One call, and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
On Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Great
Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. They've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great Impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi. What? Look. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, Blessed Friday. Dr. Ken, double R, East Side. East Side, double R. I'm hearing it both ways. East Side, double R, East Side. Don't matter to me. I didn't win it. They did. So congratulations. And why is there cameras in the classroom with corporal punishment is a discussion. I don't know. And why is there cameras in the classroom with corporal punishment? I don't know what you mean. Anyway, why didn't they give away 5K in January? Because the rotation goes when they set it, and it doesn't go when people think it should go. It goes when it goes. I don't know. So this is May, right? April, May, they'll give away the other one in June, July, and August. So, you know, I'm just saying. Everybody mad at John's plan for the Grizzlies. Some nonsense. You can dismiss me, Reg. Okay, I don't really care about that. Like basketball, Bucks ain't in, Bulls ain't in. I'm done. And woo, the Lakers lost. So I'm golden. The Lakers lost. I was hoping Denver won, but you know, they bit the bullet. So we got to wait for them to come around. We'll see what happens. Game 7 is coming up. So, you know, 833-212-1017 is the number. Whatever you want to, you know, be owning, cracking about. You know, holla at a brother, because I got a whole bunch of stuff. My top 5 at 5 is going to be a giant top 5 pop-offs. Top 5 pop-offs at 5. So I'm just saying. And so I was going through all the black websites, and I was looking at all the things that are happening in the black community, and it's getting pretty interesting. Trump administration has gone after several colleges. Black colleges are worried. I don't think they have anything to worry about. Your school is diversity. He's not closing your school. So, you know, it is who it is. Do you know who Morgan Price is? Yes, I'm popping off about every single thing I talk about today. Do you know who Morgan Price is? If you're saying to yourself, no, that is what I'm popping off about. Blavity.com has a report. Morgan Price wins collegiate gymnastics all-around title for second year in a row. First HBCU gymnast to do so. Have you heard about this? Anywhere in the news? Black news, regular news, any news. That's the problem I have with news. Somebody said, you know, the reason I don't, you know, we got a Milwaukee Black Talk, that's too narrow. How? Are you saying black people are narrow? Are you saying the station is narrow? The slogan is narrow? Like, what exactly are you saying about black people? So if you listen, it is predominantly black, just like some things are predominantly white. I don't hear white people in groups and organizations saying, hey, you know, this is a predominantly white organization. You're perfectly comfortable not saying anything because you're the majority. If it was a predominantly black organization, nobody there would go, hey, you know, to the white person or Latino or Asian, we're black. They're not going to tell you why. They're the majority. So when we take our time and we're blessed to have Good Karma Brand start Milwaukee Black Talk, don't get mad. But we're going to fight a change of a slogan tooth and nail. Do we try to change Irish Fest? Excuse me, yes. You can't have Irish Fest. We're not doing culture. We're not doing race. We're not doing any of that. So if you want to drop it, then we drop everything. And first thing I'm canceling is St. Patrick's Day. We're going to bring back Columbus Day. It was only started because we had an Italian president who wanted a day in America for Italians. So they started Columbus Day. Why are people getting mad about that? Oh, my God, look at what he did. Look at what everybody did. Everybody got baggage. You wouldn't put your money in a bank. You start looking at some of the things these banks and insurance companies did and underwrote, you know, Nazi building in Germany, all kind of stuff. Supported people who were against the Jews and all kind of against black people, made money off the backs of blacks, made money in slavery. All these companies. So, you know, calm down. That's life. You individually make a decision as to what you're going to do and how you lead your family and your life and your money. But don't be telling other people what they need to do, which is exactly what I do on Pop Off Friday, because media has blown off Morgan Price. That's right, full circle. She won the collegiate gymnastics all-around title, and nobody said a word. Story came out on the 14th of April. It's May 5th. Haven't heard anything. That's unfortunate. It really is. It really is. 2025 Women's Collegiate Gymnastics National Invitational Championships. Fisk University gymnast won first place in all 4 of her routines: vault, balance beam, floor exercise, and uneven bars. 4 things in life I could never, ever, ever do. Number 1 spot at 9.8500 on the ladder with Caitlin Holland from Texas Women's University. She did it. I could never do it. Second year in a row, Price won at Centenary Dome that week. She is the first HBCU gymnast to win 2 national titles and win a perfect score of 10.0 in a routine in the same year. So, despite competing against some of the country's best collegiate gymnasts, Price delivered under pressure. With a score of 39.350, she beat Southeast Missouri State University's Taylor Engel with a 39.225 and University of Bridgeport's Abigail Kinney with 38.950, proving why she's the face of HBCU gymnastics. No, she's not the face of HBCU gymnastics. She is the face of all gymnastics. And sometimes I think when we include being black, you tell me, do we diminish a person's skill, their award or their winning by calling them the first black or the first person to do because they're black? Oh, you're the first black principal. Well, did you get hired because of your race, or did you get hired because you were a great principal? I wonder. 833-212-1017. Give me a call. Hit me on the talk and text line or YouTube chat. Is saying so many people are first and then using race as the catalyst for that, is that fair to the person? You might be an excellent mathematician. Nah. You might be an excellent speller and win the spelling bee. If a white person's happy that a white girl won, you'd call them racist. But when a black person is happy that a black person won, we call them prideful. It sounds like there's a double standard. And then I get called out, you're an Oreo, because I call out black people for being hypocritical. As if white people are the only ones that have intelligence or think things through or have a difference of opinion. So what I'm hearing is success is bad. If you're trash, it's good. And that's ridiculous to me. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. I'm confused by it because I was always told in my generation, you do your absolute very best. You work twice as hard. You do the best. You say Giannis performs at such a high level, he's not even appreciated like he should be. Well, how much more can you appreciate Giannis? Like where? He got a ring. He got a good team. He got tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Like what more are you giving Giannis? Like what? What do you mean he's not appreciated? Because I don't appreciate like athletes? No. Because you're good at running or you're good at acting, that's great. Because I'm good at radio. You shouldn't treat me as some, oh my God, he's famous. You shouldn't do that. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, I don't. You just trash like everybody else, Oreo. Yeah, I like saying that. Just the fact that somebody got bothered enough to call me that is just, I think it's amazing. It's amazing. But it's his job to perform at a high level. It's Giannis's job. He gets paid hundreds of millions of dollars a year to perform at a high level, or maybe tens of millions. Like after $1 million, does it really matter? He gets paid to do that. So then he does it. It's like, oh my God, Denzel Washington is not appreciated because, well, he's won, I think, 2 Academy Awards. He's not appreciated because dude makes hundreds of millions of dollars on movies, producing them, all that. And so if that's the case, I mean, I love Denzel Washington's acting, but I'm not really like, if I got to put somebody on a pedestal, it's not going to be Denzel Washington. And he'll tell you, don't do it. He's an actor. He's not curing cancer. He's not doing thoracic surgery. He's not doing brain surgery, removing cancer from your brain so you can live another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. He's pretending to be someone else. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to bounce this ball, and I want you to be able to do it within these rules and get the ball in that hoop. If you do enough times, you beat the other team. If you win enough games, you beat the other team in the series. And if you win enough series, you win a ring, some money, and say you're the champion of that year. At some point, is this a guy you're going to follow into battle? Probably not. Because you and I both know when all hell breaks loose and somebody invades America, they're going to be behind a gated community. They're going to be in a high-rise building with guards downstairs. You're not going to be able to get to them. So I'm just saying. And for all you people that are knucklehead enough to go, oh, you're a hater. I'm not hating. Because your boy said it best. More money, more problems. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazaga.
Well, looks like we've got a crash on southbound 43, right about at North Avenue. The right lane is blocked, so it is going to be causing some problems. Got some big delays coming in from before Capitol Drive down to that point. Heavy on the northbound side, too, out of the Marquette up towards Keith. We've got southbound on 41, heavy from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol. Northbound heavy from about Blue Mound Road up past Hampton. And then we've got another crash on 894 southbound heading into the Hale Interchange. That one's off on the left shoulder. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies with slight chance of showers, a low of 39. Tomorrow, slight chance for showers early, then afternoon sunshine, a high of 49 at the lake, 56 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lasga on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at omegasecurityguard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. After winning 3 straight games, the Milwaukee Brewers lose to the Chicago White Sox Thursday. This one by a score of 8-0.
At the wall, Robert pulled it back. Luis Robert Jr. just pulled one back. Hoskins looked like maybe he had just hit a grand slam.
The Brewers open a new series Friday night against the Cubs at American Family Field. Milwaukee is currently sitting at 16-16 on the season. Out west, the Los Angeles Clippers are heading to a Game 7. They edged out the Denver Nuggets 111-105 Thursday night behind a big night from James Harden. The series now heads back to Denver for a winner-takes-all matchup on Saturday. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. OVO Sound 2025.
Is it Stacy? Is it Becky? Is it Keisha?
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I was like, I don't like that music. My audience is way more sophisticated and bougie. Okay, so don't be playing music you like. You play music I like. Then find something else. Like I don't know how to like. Do you have Spotify? See? Yep. Log off. See? Anyway. Because that's what I did. That's how I went from 70 to like 200 and something. And I'm like, it keeps recommending. And I'm like, well, I didn't. And then I realized, yeah. We're talking back of the room technical. Anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. You got something to pop off about. Okay, y'all can. I mean, you can keep it up, but y'all blowing up the chat. Historically, men like you were not typically given African American history. The reason behind the Oreo stereotype: guys that sounded like you were seen as uppity, and some were toward their own. What do you mean toward their own? I don't understand what you mean. Like bougie people hang with bougie people? That's what make them bougie. Okay. Uppity people hang with uppity people? Oh, so you're saying because I speak English that I was learned in school, as in taught. Hello? That's why most baby boomers speak the King's English, and they don't sound like mumble rap. I'm just saying. Historically, men like you were not typical. Are you kidding me? Educated black men graduated from 8th grade or high school and got a job? That's a, like, what kind of history do you think black people have? See, the problem is what you're taught in school today only shows the negative side of black people or one black person. You realize the number of people that were behind the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King in the 50s and the 60s? Do you understand how many people, the tens, the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of black people that were behind them? And all the people that died outside of the John F. Kennedy and Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy, Malcolm X. We just know those names, but that was within a 5-year span. Think about that. From 63 to 68, 5 years. 5 of the most important. Doesn't matter if they were liberal or conservative. 5 of the most important people in the history of this country were killed to stop black people from having rights. All of those black people spoke like I do. Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall in the, well, he was a little later than that, but Thurgood Marshall in the Supreme Court, Malcolm X. They talk like uppity white people, uppity black people, like, and the fact that when you speak the King's English, you're actually, somebody actually tells you that you're acting white is insulting. Now, granted, I'm not offended, but it can be insulting. When I hear a Southern white accent, it is something in me about that Southern accent that bothers me. Not that it's justified. I don't know. It's a lot of history and brainwashing. That is true. That is true. That is true. I'm just reading through how are black folks supposed to sound like when they speak, Dr. Harris? You ready? You ready? I know this will sound bizarre, however you want to sound. But the fact that you would trash somebody that doesn't sound like you is a problem. Or doesn't sound black the way that you think they should sound black, that's a problem. So a lot of times when black people, I can't get a job. Well, maybe because you're not in the majority, you have to present yourself in a way that's presentable to white people. Because they're controlling the hiring. They're controlling the firing. I don't care what you say, and I don't care where you are. That is what they do. You could play the game, or you could not have a job. I mean, I don't know a way around that. You go to a HBCU and try to get a job with your pants hanging around your behind, nappy hair, unshaven, with flip-flops or those new plastic shoes y'all wear. You look like a fool, and they won't hire you. Well, you know, it's the young way. The young way is never going to take over making money, because if somebody else comes in and wants to give you money and see that, they're not going to give you money. And no, I'm not saying change yourself. I'm saying recognize where you are, become the chameleon that you need to be, that everybody else is, to make your loot. You can't be the way you are when you at home. I can't be the way I am when I'm at home. But when I go back to Chicago and hang out with my friends, I can't. You lose too much. I don't know what you're trying to say, and I'm not going to say the word, but black people have and had a way in which we speak, usually proper English was not it. Well, black people speak in dialects just like Italians and Germans. People from the Netherlands, they have their own way of speaking to each other. It wasn't lazy English. That's why everybody, a lot of black people got upset when they came out with Ebonics. But Ebonics is a sub-language. There's a difference in the Creole they speak if you're in Louisiana or if you're in Haiti. It's different. They have their own languages. What's the language that comes from the Carolinas? The Geechee? I can't remember it. See, now I got to use Google. Carolinas. It'll pop up. Nope, that's not it. The Gullah Geechee. And so people don't understand. It's a unique African-American cultural heritage that developed in the coastal regions of the southeastern United States. And so Thomas, who's a Supreme Court justice, he's from that area. And if you hear him talk to other people and his friends and he's relaxed, that's how he talks. But we can't, trash something we don't understand or trash something because it's different. That's culture. It is culture. It's a subgroup of those of us that are African American in the Low Country region in North Carolina. And so when you hear them talk, they have their own language. It's not worse. It's not better. It's just different. The Gullah region extended from Cape Fear on North Carolina's coast south to the vicinity of Jacksonville, Florida. The Gullah people and their language are also called Geechee, which may have derived from the name. Okay, where'd I lose one place? People in that language called Geechee derived from the name of the people on the Ogeechee River near Savannah, Georgia. Gullah is a term that was originally used to designate the Creole dialect of English spoken by Gullah and Geechee people, and over time the speakers have used this term to refer formally to their Creole language and distinctive ethnic identity as a people. So they're either in Georgia communities, they're called freshwater Geechee or saltwater Geechee, depending on where they live on mainland or sea islands. So Ebonics, the same. Same thing with Pig Latin. So we have dialects. Italians have it, Northern and Southern Italian, and High German and Low German. So, and Russian dialects. I've had friends that were Russian, spoke Russian, grew up in a Russian household here in America, and was told, if you ever go to Russia, or at the time, the Soviet Union, you have to speak this particular form of Russia in order to get something. He was in Moscow standing in line to get food at a deli. But he's used to being at home. He was used to being at home in Chicago, so he spoke a dialect of Russian that was different. And he went in and he used the wrong dialect of Russia. And they made him, and now he stood in line for an hour and a half to go to this one place to get some food. Because they heard his dialect and it was the wrong one, they made him go to the end of the line. You shouldn't be in here. And then he changed his dialect. They were like, no. You need to go to the end. Get out. And he got thrown to the back of the line. Some people take it seriously. But don't bash people because they speak a certain way. Learn how to listen. Well, that might make too much sense.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
On Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
It's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships and building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Give.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know, there's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors right now because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. So set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They'll listen to your vision and suggest Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st of 2025. So visit PellaWI.com. That's Pella, PellaWI.com today. 833-212-1017 is the number. Airmore said, if you ask me, the whole Black South should speak Gula. Why can't the North speak Gula too? Are you like prejudice against the North? I thought so. 833-212-1017. So there's this conversation going on in here, and everybody keeps figuring out who the person is because the person keeps changing their name and pretending like there's somebody else, but then they slip and say something, and then they figure it out. Joe said, Ebonics was taught in my linguistics course when I was in school. It seems like the scholars acknowledged our speech, but yet to us it was not acceptable. Crazy, right? Yep, it was crazy. Why are you trying to call us out? Because you speak your own language, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. I think, personally, I think it's great. Everybody should be able to speak a language that nobody else understands. Everybody else do. RC said the black hole on black dialect, the rabbit hole on black dialect goes deep. It really doesn't, because I'm a contrarian. It really doesn't. And the reason I say that is because you can choose to use it or not. Everybody uses black English. If you're black, you might pretend. Unless you grew up in like Menominee Falls or Germantown or Oconomowoc, or you grew up with a white family. But I think those are things that you miss. Just like there's some things black kids miss, not being in an environment that's white. There's some social mores you need to pick up so that you can, not fake it, but just do it. There's a whole bunch of poor white people in America. And race is used to pretend and cover up like they're not. Unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, some black people do too. The poor will be with us always. There's nothing we can do about that. What you can do is not treat them different. If they don't wear the clothes you wear, talk the way you talk. But because you speak a certain way doesn't mean you're poor. Anybody know who Dave Ramsey is? That does the money stuff, right? So when he first got on the radio, he's from the South. People didn't think he was smart because he had a Southern accent. When people learn journalism, you know where they go to school? In the Midwest. You know why? They get rid of their Southern drawl, sounding like they're from the East, the East Coast, sounding, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you a West Coast girl? Like you a Valley girl? Like, no, you come to the Midwest to learn how to speak for radio and TV. Canadians have come and gone to school in the Midwest so they can learn how to speak that way. And have you noticed that you can go places and every single newscaster sounds like they're from the Midwest? You can go to the South, to Birmingham, Alabama, and they don't speak with a Southern accent. It's just a weird, and I think it's weird because people expect to hear certain things in certain spaces. So how do we feel about the term nappy? I don't care. Nappy hair is nappy hair. It's normal. It's just slang for black hair. I don't care. Miles said, well, if you look into black people, regardless of geographic location, are the most diverse of any aspect of life. And I think the reason behind this is dominance. I don't know. Good opinion, but I don't know. Joe said, I've always had a feeling with the word afro when it's just natural hair. Why not your hair? Well, because we want to stand out and we want to make sure ours is ours and it picks up our social mores and our race and our culture and our ethnicity. There's nothing wrong with that. Italians do it. Irish do it. Scottish people do it. Like everybody else does it. Why is it a problem when we do it? I don't think it is. And look at Giannis. Does he consider himself black? Or does he consider himself Greek? You know what I mean? The question is, does it matter? I say no. Joe said communication is the bottom line with speech. To degrade or say you're this or that with the way you speak is biased. Yes. And unfortunately, we are all biased. Unfortunately, we live in a country where if you speak better, you look better, you talk better, you dress better, people consider you better even when you are not. You can get much more love when you go in a shirt and tie and jacket than you do just rolling in. Top 5 at 5 up next.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam. This is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Coming with straight truth.
The same people that's against Carmelo Anthony for what his situation looked like have been for white people that have taken stances for situations like this. I guess it's color don't match. A lot of people point that out, the hypocrisy. But if this person was white, hey, we have plenty of examples of it. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone.
This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Filing a lawsuit over funding cuts to AmeriCorps. Wisconsin is one of 24 states suing the Trump administration over an end to grant funding for volunteer service programs. AmeriCorps programs in Wisconsin include tutoring, conservation, library services, and support for homeless youth. The cuts could end services at 300 sites across the state. A Racine man will spend nearly 4 years in federal prison for a role in the nationwide swatting spree. 23-year-old Kaya Christian Nelson hacked Ring doorbell cameras and made fake emergency calls to police, then watched and taunted officers through devices in November of 2020. Nelson has been in a federal prison in Kentucky since August of last year. Nelson also pleaded guilty to conspiracy and computer crimes in January. A former Milwaukee police captain is appealing her firing. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports Roberta Klein was terminated in January after internal investigations found she violated department policies by blocking a surgeon's transfer over concerns the officer might take family leave. Klein has denied any wrongdoing, and her appeal will be heard by the city's Fire and Police Commission on May 8th and 9th. The department says Klein's dismissal is the only captain termination on record. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Join the movement. Listen to the Tori Lowe Show on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got to get back to the talking text line because y'all was, as friends of mine say, y'all was talking reckless. Giannis is literally all that. Most of us, Joe said most of us don't say fro or afro anymore. Well, it depends on who you're talking to. I'm of a baby boomer generation that I get to pick and choose between boomer, X, millennial, Z. So you get to kind of, and then some of the words I don't want to use because they sound stupid to me, and I'm not going to use it because I don't want to sound stupid. And so sometimes people are hearing you say things or say slang or words like that, and you sound like, let me just say it. You're using words from the 1970s that I used when I was younger, and I still remember the words, and they mean the same thing, and you think you're saying something that nobody knows what you're talking about, when in fact, we know exactly what you're talking about. We know exactly what you're talking about. And it doesn't make any sense because, like, you act like you're saying something. You don't know what we're talking about. You know what that, and then I've had people around here, you know what that means? And then I tell them, and they look at me like, so you understood all the stuff we were saying before? Yeah, I understood all the stuff you were saying before. So you knew we was talking about such? Yeah. Not my fault. I mostly hear it from other races. That's all I was trying to say. As I'm still rocking natural hair, lined, sharp, of course you dig. But what if you're not? What if your hair's all like raggedy like that? Uncombed. Somebody's like, it's curly. No, that's not curly. But here's my thing. If you're going to wear natural hair, listen to what I am saying. This is a person in their 60s trying to help a brother out, especially if you go try to get a job. Put some oil on your hair. Make it look nice, shiny, right? There's nothing like dirty hair with lint in it and it's dry. It's just raggedy. Put some oil on your hair. Now, please don't spray any of that Jerry curl juice on your hair because then you look like a fool. But find something light and oily and put on your hair. Y'all need some old school hair grease. Seriously, especially if you're a male and you want to make your hair look, refreshed and nice. That's all I'm saying. RC said, I stick with the word black. Okay. I tend to prefer the word black versus African American because African American is an ethnicity just like Italian American and Irish and all that. So I get it. But I'm not appeasing anybody to make other people feel good about themselves. I'm black. And it bothers people. And I don't understand why. So, anyway. It is Pop-Off Friday, so, there I go. Popping off again.
Number 5.
This from the Griot. Wes Moore is not running for president. Despite calls for him to seek the presidency in 2028, Maryland Governor Wes Moore says he isn't running. The rising Democratic star left no ambiguity when asked if he would enter the race as his party desperately searches for its standard bearer after devastating losses in the 2024 election. This is what Moore said repeatedly when pressed by The View host Joy Behar, who I am not a fan of. I'm not running. I'm really excited about the work that's happening right now in the state of Maryland. Most aggressive housing package and wants to ensure greater access to homeownership. It's the first state in the nation year of service program for high school graduates. And that's it. I am clear. I am not running. But what I am doing is running to make sure that Maryland really is going to be the most explosive, going to have the most explosive decade that it's had in any time in recent history. That I can respect. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez needs to go somewhere and sit down. She's a knucklehead. If she runs for anything, I'm going somewhere to sit down. She's a knucklehead. What? I don't care. She's a knucklehead. I don't care if you disagree with me. I really don't care. She's a knucklehead. She's a knucklehead. That's my opinion, my show, and I can say she's a knucklehead. She's a knucklehead. So you can stop shaking your head. She's a knucklehead. Because when I ask you what has she done, she talks a lot. But what has she actually done? She talks a lot. May as well be a talk show host. Because other than that, you don't do anything. You get paid $167,000 a year to do nothing. I'm sorry, $174,000 a year to do nothing, to talk. To pretend like you're Hispanic, but never really quite mention the fact that you're Puerto Rican, and I've never seen you do anything to uplift your ethnicity. Interesting.
Number 4.
Trump signed an executive order directing federal funding cuts to PBS and NPR. So everybody got upset and everybody got mad. Donald Trump signed an executive order this morning amid aiming to slash public subsidies to PBS, Public Broadcasting System, and NPR. That's the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, as he alleged bias in the broadcaster's reporting. Now, this is me having worked at an NPR station in college and know a lot of people that work for NPR and PBS. The media is a liberal bastion. Just like certain businesses are conservative, the media is liberal through and through, with the exception of a few spots in Fox News being liberal and Republican. I'm sorry, conservative and Republican. Most of media is super liberal. The order instructs the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and other federal agencies to cease federal funding to NPR and PBS, which I don't think he can do because it's money and it has to go through the House, it has to go through Congress. Further requires that work to root out indirect sources of public financing for the news organizations. Now, I don't understand why we're even paying it in the first place. Like, why are you paying for TV and news? Like, it's like why? If Good Carnal Brands can't get money from the federal government to run, NPR and CBS should not be able to compete with us and get money from the government to run. I'm just saying. I don't necessarily agree with what the White House did because Trump doesn't have the power to do that. And he should not have done it. However, they only get 1% of their budget. So a $279 million budget and they get 1%. That's like $2.79 million. Guess what? They can stand to lose it. They can stand to lose it. Like, you're not going to shut down because you lose the government. Well, we're going to go to court to sue. It's going to cost you $5 million to go to court to sue to get back 2.75. Like, what are we doing? Makes absolutely no sense. Why we're paying for it makes no sense. Now, should we be paying for libraries and museums and theaters? Yes. Cultural things in the entertainment world, cultural things in the artistic world, you should leave alone. Don't jack the museum, although I think we should pay for the museum, and that way they can't tell us what to do. But at some point, we need to do that. But that means you got to shut down what? John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, National Endowment for the Humanities, cut all that out too. Because, yeah. See, if you're going to do it, cut out your stuff too. Don't just cut out stuff for us. And so when we talk about public funding for public media, we only pay $2.79 million from the federal government. So I'm not really pressed. Right? The majority of that money comes from donors. Then get your money from donors. Then you can say whatever you want to say. You could do whatever you want to do. You can move to the internet and speak your mind. But I don't think my tax dollars should pay for something that I don't want to hear or that I don't listen to. I don't think we should. That particular if we watch this, if we can fund public radio and TV, then those same tax dollars can fund the education of every single person in America who wants to go to school for free, 4K, through college. You can't have it both ways. If we can fund garbage, then we can fund education. If we can fund a liberal point of view or a conservative point of view, then we can fund college, high school. Why not? So at some point, it is what it is. But they never will do that because then if you're going to line up people who can afford it and you're going to put a number on it, guess what? Because now that school choice is statewide, people statewide are taking advantage of school choice. I have no problem with it. I have not a problem in the world as a taxpayer paying for kids to go to the school that they want to go to because I paid for my kids to go to private school until they got to college. Private. I paid. So that means I paid twice for 2 kids. I paid for them to go to public school. They didn't go. And then I paid for them to go to private school. And it was tough. It was hard. But not everybody can do that. I couldn't do it. Lord knows I couldn't. But I ended up getting it. I ended up, making it work. So I made it work. A lot of sleepless nights, dropping kids off at school, sleeping through basketball games and football games and rugby and all that. So, I'm just saying.
Number 3.
This from WISN.com. In the hustle and bustle of the Milwaukee County Courthouse, someone other than an attorney is there taking notes. Their bright green name tags are the sign of their mission and a visible warning they're watching. The group tracks defendants charged with fleeing police, recording the sentencing and comparing it to what prosecutors requested. In some cases, they're the only people in the gallery, typically 2 to 3 volunteers in each case. On one side of their shirts, the bright green button, and on the other side, a button of the photo of Aaron Mogeson, who was killed by a driver fleeing police at 100th and Capitol in November 2023. A judge sentenced Frank Mosley to driver fleeing police to 40 years for the crash. That was in the death of Angie Mogeson. And her work friends wanted to do something to honor her and push for change after meeting with a state lawmaker. So they formed Enough is Enough, a legacy for Aaron. And I support that. Judges can follow state recommendations. They can really do whatever they want in terms of a sentence for an individual. So they don't have to follow state. They can pretty much do what they want. And so they just want to make sure people get what they're supposed to get. I always find it interesting of the movements that make their way to the news, right? They usually don't become an issue until somebody white dies. But when black people die, that's just how they are. People have been dying in car crashes for how long? When the police chased them? Never heard a word. Oh, we praise the police for being so brave. And that in no way diminishes her death because that is a tragedy. And that family has to live with that. And I praise them and honor them for putting together the group Enough is Enough, a legacy for Aaron. And now they court watch. They have 20 members, and they want to track to make sure that these sentences that are going out to people that are fleeing the police and crashing or killing or injuring somebody are stiff enough. That's all. They report their findings on their website, and then they took them to Chief Judge Carl Ashley, and Ashley, of course, did not agree to do an interview. And she said, they're elected officials that are supposed to be working for our communities and keeping our communities safe. And that's the one problem I've always had with judges. When judges want to be harsh, it's always harsh to the person that's black. We screamed, we complained. Why is it that when black people get arrested, they want $1 million bail? When white people get arrested, it should be reasonable? Why? I don't understand. I didn't hear anybody screaming and hollering about that fool Mangione who killed the United Healthcare worker, and they raised how many millions of dollars for this guy? Oh my God, it's terrible. They should shut. I didn't hear any white people screaming about that. I might have missed them. There might have been, but I didn't hear them. But when the Waukesha Christmas Day parade, $1 million, he could never get out for bail. If black people had raised a penny for him, you'd have heard about it all over the country. Oh my God, can you believe they're trying to raise money? Here's a killer. And this guy killed children. But I guess white lives really are more important than black lives. That black lives really don't matter. Y'all can kill each other. Shoot somebody white up. World has to stop. We have to. It's all over the news. It's all over the thing. But I'm going to tell you, when that little white girl from Cedarburg or Grafton up in there drove down King Drive and the friend was leaning out the window during the Black Lives Matter and all the rallies for George Floyd, and she's speeding down King Drive, and the friend fell out the window and fell into the car, and she ran him over? You didn't hear about that in the news, but for one day. She pled, and I think she might have got 3 years and then probation. She killed somebody. That girl was bailed out of jail within days. Nobody said nothing about that. Oh, they reported, it's such and such and that. Yeah. But when that happens, it's a tragic accident. How's it a tragic accident? Tragic that the little white girl from Ozaukee County was driving and killed somebody, like dead? Or let somebody hang out of their window, recklessly endangering their safety, causing death. You mean that? Nah. Just hold people to the same standard. And that's why black people ought not be fighting for Judge Dugan. She broke the law. If the FBI strings her up and locks her up for 6 years, that is what she deserves if she's found guilty. Because she broke the law. There's nothing moral about the law. You don't get to choose to break the law because it's moral. You break the law, you're a criminal. And you go to jail. And in her case, she might go to federal prison. And she would have zero love lost for you. She wouldn't give you the time of day. And she'll probably get a plea. But part of that plea is she's not a judge anymore. And she should never be. If I did something like that as a police officer, you'd throw me out, decertify me, and I could never be a cop anywhere in America. But now you get some woman who's a judge who's supposed to uphold the rule of law, including the Constitution, and she lied. Well, she didn't lie. She misdirected. She obstructed. And so now they got her. And tell her what we tell everybody else. Oh, you should just plead out. Yep, you should. Plead out. Take your druthers and just go on and go to jail. Be quiet. Oh, by the way, before you go, take that robe off.
Number 2.
CBS 58, Franklin Mayor. So this is kind of weird. So evidently somebody doesn't like the Franklin Mayor who used to be a lieutenant in the Watertown Police Department. I don't understand something about the media. So let me read the story from CBS 58. Franklin Mayor John Nelson held a town hall last Wednesday night addressing multiple concerning allegations made against him by the Watertown Police Department. Now, here's the kicker. Those allegations have been closed. At a full house at Franklin Library, dozens of people showed up with endless questions and concerns about a more than 200-page document CBS 58 obtained. The document transcribes an interview between Mayor Nelson for an investigation done by a third party looking to his time at the Watertown Police Department. Allegations against Nelson center around his 9 years working at the department, including claims of sexual harassment towards female officers, creating a hostile work environment, and improper use of town resources. You could probably say that against any police officer above the rank of police officer. You could probably say it for some police officers too. I'm just saying. Because how a third party or another person perceives something you're doing with someone else can also trigger an investigation. So if I think you're doing something, even if you're not doing something, and I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent, people can complain. The complaint in and of itself means nothing unless it's substantiated. The allegations center around his 9 years there. He allowed community members at the town hall to fill out an index card, ask questions about those allegations, which he denies and calls it a witch hunt. Nelson was asked multiple times about the sexual harassment allegation, claiming that he made appropriate comments to female officers and showed inappropriate images of women he had sexual relations with. Officers claim you showed them photos of women who you were intimate with. Why do you believe this is ethical behavior in a professional setting? Asked the moderator. Nelson replied, it's not, and I didn't. So any photos that were shared with coworkers were from Facebook. Nelson claimed he was put on leave with the department for no reason. However, Terry Jendusa Nikolai, a former Waterford town chair, said during her time with the department she received concerns from multiple officers about Nelson. So let me also help you with that. That in and of itself does not mean there's a problem. People complain about things other people say and do because they are personally offended, but in a group, nobody cares. But we have become a society now, and I'm not taking up for Nelson. I don't even know him. But we have now become a society that when one person complains about something, it gets blown up it gets blown up like 10,000 people complained when it's just one. As if your right to say what you want to say should be reasonable because you're in a professional setting. But if somebody else doesn't like it, do we actually complain about it? Well, yeah, we do today. I would just say that the transcripts speak for themselves, said Nikolai. You have numerous officers who were interviewed and they said what they said. I had nothing to do with that. They said what they said. Nikolai said the investigation finished when Nelson retired, as the town didn't want to keep spending money on the investigation. CBS 58 asked to speak with Nelson before and after the meeting, and he declined. So, answer me this. Why is this in the news? Nothing substantiated. No one found guilty. No one has evidence other than them saying what they said. So help me understand, why is he in the news? Because somebody didn't like somebody, picked up the phone, used the contact, and now you make it look like something that it isn't, so that when he runs for re-election, he goes, oh, you don't say bye to me? Oh, you give him a fist bump, you don't give me no fist bump. See? See how you do me? See? Y'all see how I get treated around here? Ageism. You ain't likable. You are not likable. I don't know why. Hey, he not, see, I just, and watch this. He gave everybody a fist bump, so they like a dime a dozen. Have a great weekend, Sean. All right. But no, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. We're talking about a guy that, watch this, look for the person that runs against him for mayor, and that'll be the person that whispered in somebody's ear. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But this is what happens. This is what happens. But if you think that's a big fire.
Number one.
Well, let me tell you. This also from CBS 58. Governor Tony Evers is responding to a warning issued by the White House border czar, who criticized the governor for a workplace policy on immigration enforcement, including saying the governor could face felony charges. Evers accused Tom Homan, President Donald Trump's border czar, of threatening to arrest him for guidance issued to state workers last month on how to respond if immigration officials arrive at their workplace. Homan says Evers should wait to see what's coming after reporters at the White House asked him about the governor's memo directing state workers to seek legal counsel if ICE officers arrive at the state agencies. Chilling threats like this should be of concern to every Wisconsinite. Why? I'm not illegal. Why would I care? Anyway, and every American who cares about this country and whose values we hold dear. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Evers has defended the guidance that Holman suggested could result in consequences. I'm used to Republicans and the right wing lying about me, but this time those lies came at a cost, Evers says. I haven't broken the law, haven't committed a crime, and I've never encouraged or directed anyone to break laws or commit any crimes. Evers' memo also requires staff members to contact their agency's legal team if ICE or other agents visit the state building. It also asks workers to tell agents to come back when their attorneys are present. What? That makes no sense. So you're going to obstruct a federal officer. Okay. Republicans have argued that the memo undermines federal law and defies Trump's administrative policy. Holman said, I meant what I said. He said today, you cannot support what we're doing. You can support sanctuary cities if that's what you want to. But if you cross that line of impediment or knowingly harboring or concealing an illegal alien, that is a felony, and we will treat it as such. Now, I got to tell you, the feds are kind of right on this one, and it's a public building. So if they find somebody or come to you and you obstruct them, you're going to be sitting in a cell next to Miss Dugan. I'm sorry, Judge Dugan. I'm serious. Hey, you know what? We're back.
One call, that's all.
We just gave away $5,000 this afternoon, but if you want to be the first person that qualifies for the next time we do it, now's your chance to be our one call, that's all 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered in to win $5,000, courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 4 right now at 833-212-1017, and you'll be entered in to win $5,000 giveaway with an award-winning 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Now, again, got to be caller number 4 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if your loved one has ever been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com. That's gruber-law.com. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. That's caller number 4 at 833-212-1017 is the number.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl Noni Juice, and it's Steinhaffel's Memorial Day mattress sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable base sets, plus get up to $300 in Steinhaffel's cash. And take advantage of Steinhaffel's special 60-month financing. You can get a Queen Tempur-Pedic mattress for only $48 per month, a Beauty Rest Black mattress for only $36 per month, and an Avocado mattress for only $26 per month. Steinhaffel's is Wisconsin's mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at Steinhaffel's.com. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
She's so close now. This girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. Her friends are so jealous. You know how bad girls get.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 83321. I got to change my voice. It's after 5 o'clock. 833-212-1017 is the number. So who was our lucky qualifier. Charles, congratulations. He's our first qualifier this quarter. Somebody won this afternoon at 3:15, and now. So, congratulations. That's what's up. Still wish it was me. Still wish it was me. Still wish it was me. Can y'all tell I still wish it was me? Anyway, so an interesting story that came out here in Milwaukee that kind of slipped through, and I haven't heard. This from JS Online. A Milwaukee police captain who previously was suspended for a slow response to a rape call was fired after thwarting the transfer of a sergeant whom she believed was planning to become pregnant and take family leave. That's according to recently released reports. The former captain, Roberta Klein, then came under more scrutiny for telling a coworker about the resulting internal investigation into her conduct, the record says. Police spokespersons say Klein's firing in January was the only termination of a captain the department could recall. The records detail allegations of Klein acting unprofessionally, calling another sergeant her little nugget, regularly gossiping about her female colleagues' personal lives, and discussing an explicit photo sent to her by an ex-boyfriend. Klein did not respond to multiple interview requests. She denied the allegations in internal affairs interviews, according to department records. She filed an appeal to try to get her job back with the city's Fire and Police Commission, the Civilian Oversight Board. The appeal hearing is scheduled for May 8th and May 9th. The police department declined to make any official available for an interview about the case. The Milwaukee Police Supervisors Organization, the union for the police supervisors, declined an interview request. In 2018, Klein was suspended for 6 days for a slow response to a woman who was kidnapped and raped. At the time, Klein and 2 other supervisors were working in the department's 911 center, which is now managed by a separate city department, when calls on the incident took place. It took over an hour for officers to be dispatched, and she later told investigators, "It was the worst night I've worked." The current investigation began in January of 2024 when the department lieutenant reported Klein's General Crimes Division was on the verge of mutiny, records show. The lieutenant questioned if Captain Klein was mature enough to lead the division. The division is now known as the Major Crimes Division and investigates crimes other than homicide or gun violence. And according to internal affairs records, Klein was accused of blocking a sergeant's transfer to her division because she believed the woman was planning to have a child and go on parental leave. That accusation was levied against Klein by a lieutenant and another sergeant. The lieutenant also said Klein disclosed the personal health history of the female sergeant when explaining why she thought the sergeant was trying to become pregnant. Multiple people told Internal Affairs that Klein openly criticized the use of family leave, including texting critical messages to other supervisors of a lieutenant who requested time off following a family member's death. Internal records show she suggested those who used family leave were not dedicated to the division. Klein was notified in January 2024 that she was under investigation, and per department policy, she was told not to disclose the investigation to anyone. However, investigators learned she showed a notice of the investigation to another colleague. Klein's relationship with another police sergeant, whom she called her little nugget, and who was also investigated, came under scrutiny in the investigation. A lieutenant told Internal Affairs their close relationship compromised the division's culture, with the lieutenant feeling undermined by the sergeant and Klein. Klein's friend, the sergeant, who was the person who disclosed the medical information of the female sergeant, whom Klein later blocked from transferring. The sergeant, whose name is redacted from Klein's records, denied telling Klein about their co-worker's medical condition. The Milwaukee Police Department declined to release the sergeant's name, but said the sergeant resigned during the investigation. Members of Klein's division also said they feared retaliation for reporting her behavior, and several described a meeting where Klein discussed receiving an explicit image from her ex-boyfriend, which made people feel so uncomfortable they left the meeting early. A lieutenant said Klein often spoke in innuendos during meetings. When questioned by Internal Affairs, she denied violating department policies. She says her hesitancy to transfer the female sergeant was because of concerns with the sergeant's performance and behavior issues not due to a possible pregnancy. When questioned by Internal Affairs, I said that. Klein told the investigators she should not have disclosed the internal investigation into her conduct, but she thought she was a good captain and that subordinates are confusing hostility with accountability. And then they added her gross salary. What does that matter? She made $142,194 in gross salary in 2022. Does that matter? Anyway. So, interestingly, there's stuff going on in the Milwaukee Police Department. And I always read those stories when they come out because most of you say, oh, you always side with the police. You support them no matter what. Blah, 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 blah. But there you have it. By the way, when we come back, I've got a story I want to talk about an actress who has a record. And I'm going to go against what I said earlier and talk about somebody who's black, who's done something exceptional. And it's exceptional not because she's black, but because of what she did. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazaga.
Well, the delays are continuing on southbound 43 from before Hampton all the way down towards North Avenue. There was an accident there that has been moved out of the way. However, there's debris and a barrel stuck left in the right lane, so that's going to be slowing you down. Northbound, we got backups out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Also, more southbound delays right through the Marquette onto the high-rise bridge. Northbound on 4394, we have just north of Howard Avenue, the right shoulder blocked with a crash there. Eastbound 94, backups from Calhoun to Moreland, and then from 92nd Street to Hawley Road. Westbound's nice and clear all the way through into Waukesha County. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies with slight chance of showers, a low of 39. Tomorrow, slight chance for showers early, then afternoon sunshine, a high of 49 at the lake, 56 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
Most people don't know that a county executive is a higher elected position than a mayor. Most people don't know what a state assembly representative does, a state senator, nor their function in overall state government. Most people, in fact, don't know what a school board representative actually does. Ask a person who their county board supervisor is, and they'll likely shrug their shoulders. Also, most people don't vote. We're in for a world of hurt. If we don't know the functions of our government at the very basic level, then we are not nearly equipped for what is going to happen to this nation for the next 4 years. All they had to do was tell unsophisticated folks gas prices are too high, inflation is too high, bacon and eggs cost too much. It's this guy's fault, it's this party's fault. Vote for us. Don't think about the criminal prosecutions. Don't think about all the malfeasance. Don't think about all of the misconduct and the corruption. We're going to make your bacon cheaper. We're going to make your eggs cheaper. We're also going to gut the FBI. We're also going to gut anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to shred this nation from the top to the bottom, all in favor of a handful of folks. How about this? Let's tell people that immigrants are actually the problem. And then Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk will bring in the most highly trained immigrants this nation has ever seen. Why? Because Americans are none the wiser. Don't believe me? Look at public school children's performance, not just in Milwaukee, not just in Wisconsin, but nationwide. Get ready for a long ride, ladies and gentlemen. A very long ride.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. After winning 3 straight games, the Milwaukee Brewers lose to the Chicago White Sox Thursday. This one by a score of 8-0.
At the wall, Robert pulled it back. Luis Robert Jr. just pulled one back. Hoskins looked like maybe he had just hit a grand slam.
The Brewers open a new series Friday night against the Cubs at American Family Field. Milwaukee is currently sitting at 16-16 on the season. Out west, the Los Angeles Clippers are heading to a Game 7. They edged out the Denver Nuggets 111-105 Thursday night behind a big night from James Harden. The series now heads back to Denver for a winner-takes-all matchup on Saturday. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. No, that's not slow. That is not slow. That's slow? I'm just giving you trouble. I'm just harassing you, man. I'm just harassing you, X. Look. I'm going to X you out. Is that what you tell people when you're going to get them? I'm going to get you. I'm going to X you out. I'm like, wait a minute, that's you. Telling me I'm going to X me out. X me out. No, of all the Police songs you pick, I don't like that song. Like, why you keep playing the Police? Pick something different. I like the Police, but you don't play them up. See, we gonna have to talk. That's why I'm popping off. But that's not what you... Step in the dough. Come on. We're just having fun. It's Friday. 833-212-1017 is the number. Audra McDonald, you know who that is? Of course not, because you're too young. She's not that much older than you. 2025 Tony Award nominations. You know the Tony Award, right? You're in theater, right? 11 nominations. 11. She makes history as the most nominated performer. Audra McDonald, the most nominated. What? Gypsy. So you don't even know what Gypsy is, do you? You don't know who Gypsy Rose is. Don't. Okay, I'm done with you. 833. He said he's a Book of Mormon guy. I'm like, okay. All right. So I thought that was phenomenal that a woman actually did that. So let me get to these. I got about 40 seconds. Some of us get offended for the word Negro. They're sensitive. Hey, Noir, look at the world we are in. Everybody speaks languages. Dr. Ken, are you suggesting Ocasio is a Marjorie Taylor Greene wannabe? No, she's not a Marjorie Taylor Greene wannabe. She's the opposite, a pain in the patootie, as AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene and MTG. AOC and MTG. That's all I'm saying. Because she's I'm just saying, she not. No. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's 1017 The Truth, Dr. Ken Harris. You know, there are times in life when life tosses you a curveball and you have to readjust and realign and rededicate your resources to make things better. Sometimes you may know what to do, but other times you have no idea, and it's the first time you've ever been faced with an issue, especially when it's financial. Last couple of decades, I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. I've had financial issues that I've had to deal with a family member, and I was able to go in and get advice and get a plan, and I'm here to tell you today it worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line of shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial resources. So experience more heart, less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA, membership eligibility is required.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. So as we roll into the rest of the day, it's been great hanging out with y'all. Y'all been blowing up the talking text line. I mean, blowing it up. Blowing it up. I mean, I can't even repeat some of y'all comments. Yes, I did say raggedy and uncombed. I mean, I'm just saying. It is raggedy and uncombed. It is. Y'all have a safe weekend. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up. Make sure you hang out all weekend long. You will have the best of, so we'll get it all done. And no, I didn't take you out, Jasmine, but I wasn't trying to take you out, Jasmine, but yeah, I did. Thank you, X. Appreciate you for the last 3 days. Y'all have a great weekend. It's supposed to rain, so y'all be careful. God bless. Take care. Hey, y'all. I'm out.
time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker